Çok kıymetli konuklarımız, değerli konuklar, Sanayi ve Teknoloji Bakanı, Bakan Yardımcımız Sayın Zekeriya Coştu programımızı...
Distinguished guests, the Deputy Minister of Ministry of Industry and Technology, Zekeriya Coştu, has arrived and honored us.
Sayın Bakan Yardımcım,
Distinguished Deputy Minister, distinguished CEO of Wind Europe, distinguished guests, and dear members of the press, we are here to discuss the theme Energy of the Future of Energy, the 13th TWEC Congress. Welcome to the second day. At the very beginning, I'd like to invite you to a moment of silence to commemorate the founder of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, and his comrades, followed by the national anthem.
Ediyoruz. Saygı duruşu için önce lütfen dikkat. Üstüne tütenmez olacak o be bir milletimin yıldızıdır ancak o beyli milletine çarpma kurban olayım ey nazlı hilal kahramanı kır bir güneş döküler kanlarımız sonrayla akıdır Hakka milletimin istiklal. Teşekkür ediyoruz. Sayın Bakan Yardımcım, değerli konuklar, 33 yıl boyunca
Distinguished Deputy Minister, distinguished guests, for the last 13 years we've been discussing the cleanest, the most reliable energy sources, and we strived to make those best renewable resources to be the resource of our country. And this is the 13th year anniversary of TWEC, and we're discussing the sustainability and the renewable energy, which is indispensable for both Turkey and the entire globe. And now it's time to take a look at the video of this Congress.
Enerji nedir? Türk Dil Kurumu enerjiyi maddede var olan ve ısı, ışık şeklinde ortaya çıkan güç olarak tanımlar. Ama aslında enerji herkes için farklı anlamlar taşır. Ülkeler için farklı, doğa için farklı, insanlar için farklı anlamlara gelebilir. Tüm bu unsurları mutlulukla buluşturan ortak enerji paydası rüzgar enerjisidir. Ülkelerin ihtiyacını gideren, doğayı koruyan, insanlara fayda sağlayan rüzgar enerjisi. Çevre sağlığına zarar vermeyen, yenilenebilir ve tükenmeyen rüzgar enerjisi, insan ve doğa açısından en güvenilir enerji türüdür. Bu yüzden pek çok otorite tarafından dünyanın en değerli enerjisi olarak tanımlanır. Bu değerli enerjinin ülkemizde en verimli şekilde değerlendirilmesi için Türkiye Rüzgar Enerjisi Birliği 1992 yılında kuruldu. Rüzgar enerjisiyle ilgili bilimsel, teknik ve uygulamalı araştırmaları takip etmek, rüzgar enerji kaynağının kullanımını yaygınlaştırmak için faaliyetlerde bulunmak ve ülkemizdeki rüzgar potansiyelini ekonomiye kazandırmak amacıyla çalışmalarını sürdürdü. rüzgar değer zincirinin tamamını kapsayan TÜREP, rüzgar enerjisi alanında Türkiye'nin çatı kuruluşudur. 33 senelik başarı hikayemizde dünyanın en temiz, en güvenilir, en sürdürülebilir enerji kaynağını Türkiye'nin bir numaralı enerji tercihi yapmak için çalıştık. Düzenlediğimiz çalıştaylar, çıkardığımız yayınlar, katıldığımız fuarlar ve Avrupa Birliği projeleri toplantıları, paydaş ve çalışma grubu buluşmalarıyla rüzgar enerjisini ülke gündemine taşıdık ve farkındalık yarattık. Türkiye Rüzgar Enerjisi Kongresi 13. gurur yılında Türkiye'nin sürdürülebilir ve yenilenebilir enerjisinin vazgeçilmezliğini bir kez daha tüm dünyaya hatırlatıyor. 2023 yılında 131 konuşmacının 26 farklı ülkeden 4358 katılımcıya birikimlerini aktardığı 24 oturumda 162 B2B toplantının düzenlendiği 12. kongremizde yarattığımız farkındalığı 13. kongremizde daha da aşarak daha fazla katılımcıya ulaşmayı ve rüzgar enerjisine çok daha fazla insanın dikkatini çekmeyi amaçlıyoruz. Kamu kurumlarımız ve TÜREP bünyesindeki sektör paydaşlarımızın yarattığı sinerji sayesinde toplam kurulu güç 13 gigawata ulaştı ve işletmedeki rüzgar enerjisi santrallerinin sayısı 278'e yükseldi. 4360 kurulu türbin sektördeki büyümenin bir göstergesi olarak kaydedildi. 2023 yılında rüzgar enerjisinden elektrik üretim oranı %10,9'a ulaştı. Bununla birlikte inşa halindeki santrallerin gücü 3147 megawata yükseldi ve 75 yeni rüzgar enerjisi santrali inşa edilmeye başlandı. Rüzgar sanayimiz geçmiş yıllara göre gözle görülür bir büyüme kaydetti. 2019 yılında 24 sanayicimiz yaklaşık 700 milyon avroluk yerli imalat yaparken, 2023 yılına ulaştığımızda bu rakam 2,2 milyar avroya kadar yükseldi. Sektörümüz 50'nin üzerinde ülkeye ihracat yapar duruma geldi. İstihdam rakamlarımız da 50 bin kişiyi aşmış durumda. Kule ve kanat üretiminde %65'i aşan yerlilik oranına ulaşıldı. Bu gelişimi devam ettirmek için sektörün izinler, finansman ve kapasite arzı gibi çeşitli ihtiyaçları Enerji Bakanlığımızın 2035 vizyonu çerçevesinde karşılık buluyor. Enerji Bakanlığı'nın 2035 yılı için belirlediği toplam 120 gigawatt yenilenebilir enerji hedefi içinde yılda 5 gigawattlık rüzgar yatırımı vizyonu sektörümüz için çok büyük gelişim fırsatıdır. Ulaşacağımıza inandığımız bu büyük hedefimizle yıllık 8 milyon ton karbon salınımının önüne geçmeyi, 6 milyar dolarlık dış kaynaklı yatırım sağlamayı ve her 3 milyar metreküp doğalgaz ithalatında 1 milyar dolar cari açık azaltımı öngörüyoruz.
Rüzgar enerjisi önümüzdeki 10 yılda geleceğin enerjisi olacak ve geleceğin enerjisi Türkiye'nin geleceği olacak.
Evet, rüzgardaki bu enerjiyi önümüzdeki yıllarda
The energy of this wind will continue in the future, and just like our motto, as you can see it on the screen, the energy of the future will be the future of Turkey. So this year we have 4 halls, we'll have 20 sessions, and we had most of them yesterday already. Yesterday, 2035 vision and TWEC was heavily discussed because they will shape our future. And today, again, very important sessions await us. Today, we'll discuss integrating Turkish industry into the European offshore wind supply chain, and we'll also have a World Energy Council special session. We'll discuss future opportunities and possibilities. Let me also share some housekeeping rules and messages. You can scan codes, and if you need Wi-Fi, you can select the network called TWEC 2024, and you can register to be connected. We also have an app specific for this Congress. You can download the Event Magics application and enter the codes TUREK 2024 so that you can follow the entire course and program of the Congress. It'll allow you to catch any session you are interested in, and you can find company booths. So, with all that, let's start our session. Let's further discuss the future of wind energy. And just like yesterday, we'll invite the president of TÜREK, Dr. Ibrahim Erden, for his opening remarks. Good morning. I wish you all a fruitful morning and session. Before I start my opening remarks, I'd like to thank Giles Dixon. He really followed and sang our national anthem. It was so sincere of you, and I'd like to extend you my most heartfelt gratitude. Distinguished Deputy Minister, distinguished General Manager of the industry, distinguished Deputy General Managers, distinguished representatives of public and private sector, dear employees of the industry, ladies and gentlemen. On the second day of the Congress, I'd like to salute you on behalf of TÜREK and welcome to the second day of the Congress. We discussed the renewable energy targets of our country. They are crucial for the development for our country. And this is the largest wind industry meeting, and this is the 13th of our Congress. And being with you makes us more than happy. Industry-focused sessions opened by Mr. Zekeriya Coşkun. And we are so happy to see you here today as well. Distinguished Deputy Minister, dear guests, yesterday we discussed global transformation and global developments. And we discussed the repercussions to our country. Let me emphasize a couple of key details to further tell you about what they mean for our industry. Just like I stated yesterday, in the last decade, there's been a movement going on which accelerated in the especially last 5 years. There's a significant technological transformation going on, and let me grab your attention to turbine producers. There is a shift between the East and the West, and the competition is over the roof. 10 years ago, Western producers were dominant in the market, but looking at it now, there's a complicated but on a balance, and the market is leaning towards the East now. 10 years ago, more than 50% of the market was dominated by the Western players, like I said, and that's how the ecosystem was. But today, more than 65, maybe 64 or 65% of Eastern turbine producers are dominating the market. And I think we can guess how this evolution will go. We'll continue to monitor very closely. This change, this evolution brings about unprecedented changes. So following this, wind turbines and their sizes also went through changes. There was a stagnation, but now there is a rapid recovery and an acceleration going on. 5 years ago, turbines were around 4 to 5 megawatts, but now they're expanding tremendously. They're pushing the limits. They're even challenging logistics because they are now up to 7 to 8 megawatts. And based on the developments that we monitor, there are even 15 megawatts of prototypes, and they are being implemented. And looking at how it is onshore, offshore, onshore was around 78, was around 4 to 5, but now they are 7 to 8. But I can tell you that there are prototypes up to 15 megawatts, and for offshore, they used to be 8 to 10 megawatts, but now there's 14 to 16 megawatts, and there are prototypes from 15 to 20 megawatts. So meaning turbine producers are competing with themselves, and they are really assertive with their products. Wind turbines are not only growing, but they're very rapidly getting digitalized. A decade ago, turbines were heavily mechanical, and that's where the investments were pouring into. But in the very near future, we believe that we'll start to see autonomous plants. And let me remind you how it was during the pandemic. There were some serious tests. And we also believe that turbines will turn into data centers, and the data generated from those turbines will be beneficial for millions. There are significant developments, but also challenges. And now looking at the wind industry ahead, I can tell you that the industry is going through a production and supply chain transformation as well. 10 years ago, there were global but specific production centers, and it was in a concentrated fashion when it comes to the supply especially. But now, almost all countries are producing. There is a pressure on domestic production to cover the demand. And this is another challenge the industry is facing. Let me remind you the big global competition that I just emphasized here. If it continues like that, then suppliers, producers will continue to face fierce competition, especially in price terms as well. So suppliers might supply equipments from Far East because of all the latest developments. And us as the association follow the global transformation and developments very meticulously, and we try to position ourselves very actively because our future is the future of Turkey, no doubt. And we want Turkey to get a higher share from the global wind energy developments. And if we want to be successful in this, then we have to focus on wind investments. We need to grab international investments, and we need a deep-rooted wind energy. And we have to make sure that this industry is always in the front when it comes to global arenas. And we need to bear full responsibility to promote and to let the world know what we are doing. And we have Wind Europe with us. The CEO, Giles Dixon, is representing the company here. So we need cooperation, we need close communication, and we want to do a lot more to represent the industry here. Wind Europe held many annual events. There's been congresses, expos. For example, there was one in Hamburg, but also next week, the 29th of COP climate conference will take place. I mean, we always participated in such related events with delegations, with companies, either to congresses or expos. And our public institutions, related ministries, distinguished ministers, deputy ministers are always there to support us, and we are more than grateful for their support. As we continue our efforts, I want to remind you that we are working around the clock to bring Wind Europe to Turkey in 2026. We are ranked number 2 among 10 countries, and as a result, Wind Europe Technology Workshop that helps discuss the wind situation in Europe. And we'll hold it in Turkey. And God willing, the 19th of June, 2025, we'll host this incredible event in the same location. But it's not limited to that. We want Turkey to be a country that is visited, not visiting. So we want to bring further events to Istanbul, and we've become a candidate for the 2028 event as well. The presidency, the Ministry of Industry and related bodies are, again, working around the clock to make it happen. And maybe Atatürk Airport could be the location, because we know that we might receive support in that front. So if Atatürk Airport will be ready for it, then why not host the event there? During this transformation, the position of TÜREP was not just to preserve what is already there, but to bring it beyond. We are talking about 13 gigawatts of installed power, and we know about the stats. But what is important here is the employment figure and the investment size of $18 billion, which is a great added value. But what's important here is how to expand it, how to go above and beyond, because the project stock is incredible, but unfortunately, this is a transition year. 2023. We had the lowest installment. It was just 538 megawatts. It was limited to that because the industry was beaten up significantly. But from now on, especially with this year's transformation, plus the announcements coming from the Ministry of Energy, will help us thrive the project stock. And together with YECA and capacity allocation, plus the offshore detail, we can reach up to 50,000 megawatts, meaning there is a vision of 100,000 megas, meaning there are incredible opportunities for the wind industry. And the Energy Market Regulatory Board took a great role in it, and I thank them for their efforts as well. And there is no doubt that the Ministry of Industry will contribute significantly to our endeavors and help the investments benefit our local industries and especially our domestic production. The Turkish wind energy sector is also aware this huge 120,000 megawatts of a potential, and we want to set some specific targets. Let's be together, let's walk this road together is our message here, with all the industrialists, service engineers, related companies, all related bodies. Prepare yourself to walk on this path with us, and we are more than ready to support the endeavors. And that is why we have an ambitious target of 120,000 megawatts of target, meaning 5,000 annual installation. We just committed yesterday that we are ready to do whatever it takes to hit our targets. And we know that these targets will help us reach our 2035 vision, meaning 50 gigawatts of investments and wind electricity generation up to 137,000 gigawatts annually. Thinking of today's figures, I can tell you that the target is to increase the share of wind is like around 20 to 30%. If we can hit our targets, then it'll also mean a drop in electricity bills by 15 to 20%. We want to see more solar, more wind, and we know that if we can hit our goals, it'll also mean that we can save on imports by up to $14 billion. We still have great needs, but even so, thanks to the HIT 30 project, There are great aids and supports, and such aids and supports are crucial to develop our industry. Let me emphasize once again, HIT 30 or similar supports by the ministry will bring our 2.2 billion wind energy sector to 7.5 to 8 billion dollars, which will tremendously help us lower the current account deficit. It will bring about a current account surplus. It'll also allow us to export to many more countries, and our industry can become even more influential. But in order to hit those targets together with planned investments, we still have a lot to do. Let me tell you about a couple of needs. Storage. There has been a great capacity support thanks to the efforts of the ministry. There is this regular capacity increase, and it definitely should continue with bodies like TWEC. The second is, in order to increase our industry competitiveness, HIT 30 and similar support mechanisms should be actively used, expanded, and we need more alternatives like HIT 30. And following that, when it comes to imports, we see some shortcomings and gaps. We need to overcome them so that we can further support our industry to eliminate unfair conditions. We need a fair competition because that's the only support we need. Also, turbine sizes are getting larger, and it brings about some challenges to our logistics. So we need to explore marine or road possibilities. And if necessary, we have to go for an expansion because it will also contribute to the development and growth of the industry. We need further engineering studies. For example, offshore is something new for us. But we are already experienced in onshore, so we need to bring our know-how to offshore as well, and we need our marine industry to come up with a master plan so we can feed and support one another. So this is the current picture. With all the needs, our Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Energy, and other related ministries are without a doubt following all the developments. They have an open communication with us. We are consulting with one another, and this makes us more than happy. Our president recently announced HIT 30, and it was welcomed by the industry, and it grabbed a very great deal of interest and attention. And in order to support the industry, we'll implement some anti-dumping practices, and there's been some investigations going on. In addition, especially Chandarlı Port and green energy industry potential of Turkey is being studied right now. And again, related ministries paid a great attention to this subject as well, and we are very eager to wait the results, to see the results. I hope that such efforts will come to a conclusion very soon, and we hope that the necessary regulations will be implemented as soon as possible. Like I stated yesterday, our Congress is not just a Congress. It is an opportunity to bring all stakeholders together. The Congress now acts as a platform, and surely we strive to benefit from this opportunity to the fullest. I hope that the second day of the Congress will also be fruitful and successful for all of us. I invite you all to share your ideas, opinions, and your insights. Let me remind you the motto once again: energy of the future of energy. We have no doubt that in the future, the wind is going to be the most important technology and industry of the country. We have a sort of ambitious goals, but they are not impossible to reach as long as we work together. And I would like to remind you our commitment of this 5,000 gigawatts of installment. We are eager and ready. Distinguished Deputy Minister, dear audience, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for sparing your time and contributing to our Congress. Again, distinguished Minister, you honored us with your presence. Thank you and have a fruitful Congress. Ibrahim Erden, the chair, the president of TWEC. So, what is going on in Europe? What is the latest? We are more than curious to hear and follow. And now we will follow Wind Europe, who has been a great deal of support for us all the time. Now I leave the floor to the CEO of Wind Europe, Giles Dixon.
Zakarai Bey, Ibrahim Bey, Beyler Boyan La Bunaida. Many congratulations to you all in Turkey for what you have done to develop such an outstanding wind energy supply chain. You have now, according to the latest TÜREB data, 150 main suppliers, 350 further sub-suppliers. This is truly impressive. And the rest of Europe is extremely grateful to you for it, because most of what your factories are producing is exported to the rest of Europe. At the moment, the rest of Europe, that's the whole of Europe, excluding Turkey, is building 18 gigawatts of new wind farms every year. Between now and 2030, that number's going to rise. On average, we will be building 27 gigawatts of new wind farms every year. So the market for your factories is growing. And the rest of Europe will be even more hungry for the equipment that you produce in this country. So if anybody questions whether the government of Turkey should be proactively supporting and strengthening Turkey's wind energy supply chain, the answer is yes, because the markets are growing. The rest of Europe wants you even more than we want you and appreciate you today. And when I say appreciate, let me say this is not just a numbers game. The rest of Europe deeply appreciates the quality as well. The turbines and equipment that you produce in this country are of excellent quality. Well done and thank you. The next piece of important good news I want to share with you is that the European Union sees your supply chain as part of the wider European wind energy supply chain. There was a concern this time last year that the EU might bring in new rules to support exclusively EU local content. in their new legislation, the so-called Net Zero Industry Act. I'm pleased to tell you they have not done that, and they're not going to do that. They're taking a wholly different approach. It's not about local content rules for EU content. It's about reducing dependency on single large country external suppliers in Asia. Good. So Turkey's wind energy supply chain will continue to be regarded as part of the wider European wind energy supply chain. I have more good news for you. The wider European wind energy supply chain has turned the corner. They had a very challenging few years. They were losing money. At one point, all 5 of Europe's leading wind turbine manufacturers were operating at a loss. Now they are coming back to profitability. This is extremely encouraging. And they're coming back to profitability partly because the European Union is now pursuing a more proactive wind energy industrial policy. This time last year, the EU adopted a wind power package. It was all about strengthening wind turbine and component manufacturing in Europe. The European Investment Bank changed its lending rules so that, as well as lending money to new wind farms, they can now lend money to new wind turbine and component factories. They were not previously doing that. The European Investment Bank have also created a new counter-guarantee facility to support Europe's wind and grid equipment supply chain. The EU has introduced more flexible state aid rules for national governments, so it's easier for them to give direct financial support to the wind energy supply chain and the logistics and the ports and everything needed for the expansion of wind, and the national governments are now doing that. This is very encouraging indeed. Even more encouraging, even more of this strong industrial policy for wind is on its way now with the new European Commission and the new European Parliament that's about to start its 5-year mandate. The new EU Commission will take office, we hope, on the 1st of December for 5 years under the leadership of Ursula von der Leyen, and they are very clear. Their number one domestic economic policy priority is the Clean Industrial Deal, which means strengthening Europe's energy-intensive industries, helping them to decarbonize, and strengthening Europe's clean energy manufacturing industries, including wind. This is very encouraging indeed. The European Innovation Fund has recently awarded its first ever grants to 6 factories in Europe manufacturing wind energy equipment. Previously, they had not done so. So again, if anybody questions whether the government of Turkey should be pursuing a more proactive, even a more aggressive industrial policy to support Turkey's wind energy manufacturing, the answer is yes, because this is what the rest of Europe is doing. And it makes economic sense. It is win-win. It's win-win also because it is part of our energy security, our economic security, and our national security to ensure that this vital equipment of strategic national importance is manufactured as far as possible in our own part of the world. That is certainly how the European Union sees it. And I sense from my 2 days here that that is how you see it as well, and it's very good to hear. On the question of security, one other thing the European Union is doing now is introducing strict rules on data security. In the wind energy auctions now, national governments have to include cybersecurity and data security in their pre-qualification criteria. So you can't compete in the auction if you are not committing to ensure that your wind farms are going to be secure from cyber attacks and that the data from the sensors on the turbines is going to stay in either countries that are part of the European Customs Union or countries that have signed the government procurement agreement. That is now very clear EU policy, and that makes sense because governments across Europe now recognize that those sensors on the turbines, they give you lots of information and they give you the power to control the functioning of those turbines as well. The EU is also making sure that there is a level playing field between European manufacturers and non-European manufacturers. And Ibrahim Bey, you've talked about the importance of the level playing field yourself as well. Further piece of good news I want to share with you. On the back of this stronger European industrial policy for wind, we, the industry, are now responding. We are developing 30 new factories making turbines, towers, cables, converter platforms, transformers, other crucial equipment for wind energy across the whole of Europe. 30 new factories to add to the 250 factories we already have across the whole of Europe and Turkey. And that is extremely encouraging. By the end of next year, Europe will have nearly 10 gigawatt a year of manufacturing capacity for offshore wind turbines and over 22 gigawatt a year of manufacturing capacity for onshore wind turbines. That is more than enough. We can deliver the expansion of wind energy that governments in Europe want with equipment that is made in Europe. I've mentioned grid equipment factories. This is a real priority. And if you were to ask me what one area could Turkey most usefully be expanding your manufacturing capacity, it would be transformer factories. We have a shortage of them across Europe as a whole. When we talk about manufacturing capacity, we think about technology. And Ibrahim Bey, you have mentioned the 2025 Wind Europe Annual Technology Workshop. Of course, you use the Turkish word inshallah. Let me reassure you in my blunt English that it definitely will be taking place in Istanbul next year on the 19th and 20th of June. And I look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible. Beyler, bayanlar, İlginiz için teşekkürler.
Sayın Giles Dixon'a Avrupa ve ülke
We'd like to thank esteemed Giles Dixon for his assessments and evaluations.
Dixon. Değerli konuklar,
Distinguished participants, distinguished guests, we will be giving the floor Deputy Minister of Industry and Technology of Republic of Turkey. It is really very important that they will be completing this HIT 30 program and there will be new collaborations, and that's really important for us. This is a highlighted part and we would like to share these important remarks. We would like to thank our ministry for their support. Now we would like to give the floor Deputy Minister of Industry and Technology of the Republic of Turkey, Zekeriya Coştu. We kindly ask you to take the floor.
Evet, merhabalar.
Greetings. It was a very joyful speech. Thank you so much. I would like to salute you on behalf of myself and my ministry. First of all, I would like to thank CEO of Wind Europe, Mr. Dixon. Welcome to Turkey. I would like to thank President of TWEC,
Mr. Ibrahim. I would like to thank family of TWEC for organizing this beautiful and significant congress. Congratulations once again. This congress had a very fruitful sessions yesterday, and I believe and hope that today will be even brighter. We will be delving deeper into the topics of renewable energy and wind energy, and we will contribute to the industry in Turkey. I wish that it will be a fruitful session. Turkey is a developing country, not only in wind energy industry, but also in other industries. Turkey has a strong infrastructure and strong ecosystem. And in our PIB, we can say that industry has the share of more than 20%. This 20% is around 15% in the developed countries. So we can clearly say that we're an industry country. We are exceeding Europe. We are one of the leading countries, and domestic vehicles and other automobiles productions, in terms of manufacturing, in terms of volumes of manufacturing, we are leading country in Europe. In machinery, we have exportation volume that exceeds $30 billion. From China to mid-Europe, we are producing and exporting a variety of products. It wasn't easy, of course. It wasn't easy to achieve our goals thanks to the developments and the stable economical developments, stable political developments and policy design we have achieved here. And our industry manufacture has risen up to 3.2 times. So we increased by 3.2 times our production. So we increased to employment rate to 3.9 to 6.7. This clearly puts out the development that we realized as an industrial country. After pandemic, Turkey has preserved its position and also strengthened its position. And it is positively developed and accelerated its manufacture and production, increasing their manufacture index. This industrial manufacture index, it was 9% in Germany, in Italy 3.5%, in France it has fallen too. But in Turkey, when we compare, we have seen that it has increased by 19.7%. As I indicated previously, Turkey is more than determined to develop its industry despite all the negative conditions surrounding it. We will continue to manufacture, we will continue our production, we will be even bigger. As I clearly mentioned, for the last 22 years, there is a capacity that we are producing. We use it as a base, so it is also benefiting these opportunities. We will continue growing with the state-of-art technologies. We are one of the bases of the production and manufacture of the world. In order to realize this, we are exerting all our efforts together. This is a matter of competition. It is not just relying on our power, it's not enough. Also, in the world, if we are to develop this, we see that other countries are also developing their own competencies. In order to achieve our goals globally, we should globally compete. We should develop and strengthen our competences. Not only strategically, but also in terms of pricing, we have to make this transformation, structural transformation. In this sense, we have to focus some areas. First of all, energy. Energy. First of all, the world is going through these challenging times. During these difficult times, we have seen with energy and some critical points, countries have this strategical autonomy. Countries should construct their economical autonomy. That's of utmost importance. Also, another pressure is the pricing of the manufacturer, and there is competence. So, how do they compete? You can also see this. It is the cost. The low cost is also the source of competition. For that reason, we have to diversify our resources, also decrease the cost of the energy production, and we have to adapt sustainable development goals. From renewable energy sources, we have to yield these renewable energy sources. This has to become our number one target. We have to focus our agenda on this item. Distinguished participants, Turkey's potential on renewable energy goals and the policies they adopt and the steps that they're taking. We all know about all these developments. I will not be declaring more, repeating more of these figures and numbers. We are all aware of these facts. These are we talk about very huge potential and we talk about these grand figures. These targets are a result of this renewable energy resources, and they will be serving as a leverage in the path for development for Turkey. Beyond all these plans, as Mr. Dixon mentioned, in their great news, there is a goal, exportation goal that awaits us in Europe. Not only in Europe, but also globally, we are expecting more to invest in these renewable energy resources, and it presents itself as an export opportunity for us. We have taken the steps. This TWEA, as you all know, it is one of the biggest production plants of Europe. By now, we rank the fifth as the wind energy facilities and industries. 3 out of 4 products is being exported to 50 countries. We can mention that 5 billion euros annually on an exportation level. During the years, all those years, we constructed this capacity, and this capacity of utmost important for Turkey. Yet, we are in some complex situations, as we have said, the manufacture costs and the competence that we have, competition that we have, but we will be protecting our industry. We will be protecting our industry, and we will be taking our steps in the future firmly with determination. In harnessing renewable energy in Turkey, we have to invest in R&D as well as digital transformation. As ministry, as public institutions, we are more than prepared to offer our utilities and every service. Through TWEC, we will be also fostering competition dimensions of our investors, local investors. We have supported more than 150 R&D projects in this regard. We have established more than 60 R&D centers, and we are also supporting them with the subsidies. With the R&D subsidies, we are supporting our industry with these subsidies and funds. We're also investing in the infrastructure. I believe we are exerting all our efforts. As Mr. Ibrahim pointed out in their speech, the projects that he mentioned, we closely follow up these projects, and I hope and believe that we will be taking the necessary steps in the implementation of these projects, such as Chandarlı Port, that will be also helping the development of Turkey, and it will accelerate. With the projects like HIT 30, we will be fostering the investments in our ecosystem. Thanks to HIT 30 program that we declared this budget of $30 billion of subsidies. So we address the issue of renewable energy, and we will be investing in wind energy with the clear indications of our esteemed president. We declared it to the world. Our goal is, thanks to these initiatives and supports in our industry, we would like to increase the value added of the sector in our country's economy. There will be an even stronger domestic industry in Turkey. We will be increasing this value added share of this industry up to 70%. In the supply chain and the world, I believe Turkey will take a further step, and we firmly believe that we will achieve our goal. Supply chain and the value chain will have different parts. We will be generating value. We will be generating technology. We will be generating added value with our stakeholders, with professionals, with NGOs. All together, we will achieve our goals. Turkey, this Congress of Wind Energy of Turkey has also contributed to the momentum of this movement of technology. In this regard, I would like to once again thank the organizers, and I would like to also thank TWEC, Executive Board of TWEC, and I would like to personally thank to Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you. I'd like to salute you all once again. Thank you. I would like to thank you once again for your valuable contributions. We would like to hold you for a while on the podium. We will rearrange the podium. Without further ado, we would like to invite distinguished Ibrahim Erdan to podium. We will be presenting some gifts in memory of this Congress. Well, this is really significant. Selma Öztürk has designed this. This is one of the masterpieces of Selma Öztürk. This is the classical Ottoman art that belongs to their collection. You can see the wind turbines in the painting. It is one of the replica artworks from Topkapı Palace in memory of this Congress. Well, we will continue with our panelists without any pause. We will continue with the next session. Well, Mr. Giles Dixon. Coming up next, we will continue with our third session. Well, I would like to invite esteemed Mahmut Güldoğan, Nurettin Paksu, and Shane Whittaker. We'd like to invite you if they are ready. Let's take a picture. Let's take a picture, please. Mr. Whittaker, are you in the hall? Well, We would like to thank our Deputy Minister Zekeriya Coştu for their continuous support as ministry. Their messages was really valuable. Well, they have to depart due to their agenda. Of course, they have a program in Ankara they have to attend. It was a pleasure seeing you once again. Thank you so much for your contributions. We would like to thank our Deputy Minister of Industry and